An understanding of the natural world and what is in it is the source of not only great curiosity, but great fulfillment. Sir David Attenborough, British naturalist. Used as a mobile device for plant reproduction, pollinators are diverse, important to the environment, and a benefit to humans. Since I have 5 associate degrees pertaining to the natural world, I'd like to impart some knowledge. Today, I'm going to discuss pollinators and their role in the role they play in the natural world. For instance, diverse, importance, and benefits. Now that I've gone over the main points, I'd like to go right into diversity. First, I would like to discuss the what a pollinator is, and then the vast array of pollinators. For instance, a pollinator is an animal who carries yellow pollen, which would be the male sex genes, from plant to plant. According to Santa Barbara City College, Bob Cummings and Larry Friesen, Plant Diversity 2018, there are over 235,000 modern flowering plants emerged 75 million years ago. They didn't have any pollinators, so they co-evolved with the animals. For instance, you have a flower with nectar, you have a hummingbird with the appropriate beak to extract it. You have another flowering plant that produces fruit. You have animals that partake in the fruit. The third would be a mimicry. You have a flower that developed a particular petal that looks like a female bee. The male bee was attracted. So win-win for most, win-lose for the bee. However, according to the Wild Fish and Game Service, USDA website, June 2020, there are over 100,000 pollinators, possibly up to 200,000. So most of you are probably familiar with the bee. However, you may not be familiar that bats, lemurs, moths, butterflies, beetles, and even lizards are pollinators. In fact, Christine Angelini with FEEWOW, Nature Center, Sacramento, California blog, August 2020, says you as in the audience, are also a pollinator. When you take a walk or a hike, you're picking up pollen in your shoes, your pants, or possibly your sleeve, and you're just dispersing it along the path. Now that I've gone over the diversity, I'd like to go to the importance of pollinators. According to the U.S. Forest Service, USDA website, we cannot live without pollinators. According to that same website, 80% of flowering plants require pollinators. Plants are stationary. They can't move, so they require the mobility of pollinators to carry their reproduction, male sex genes, to flower through each ecosystem. Pollinators are the reason for the wide variety of biodiversity in the natural world. Consequently, pollinators are very important in the ecosystem to sustain wildflowers and crops. Flowering plants and crop genetic diversity are important. Without flowering plants and crop diversity, we wouldn't be able to sustain the vast amount of species in our world. According to Rachel Bale, in her article, How many species have we not yet found? National Geographic 2019. In 2011, 1.6 million species were in the world. According to scientists, there could be up to 8.7. Thus, the wildflowers and the crops have nuts, nectar, fruit, and seeds to sustain these copious amount of species. However, animals are not the only ones that rely on pollinators. We as humans do as well. With that in mind, we have gone over the diversity, we've gone over the importance. Now I'd like to go over the benefits to humans. Last, I'm going to point out some economic benefits from pollinators. With that said, the U.S. Forest Service website, 35% of agricultural crops require pollination. I'm going to point this out real quick. For example, according to Jose Medina's Fast Facts California Agricultural Economy, 2012, California produces 80% of the world's almonds. Almonds need pollinators. For an example, so do citrus, apples, etc. They all need pollinators. That's a benefit to you and me. According to David Suzuki in Leonardo DiCaprio's 2008 11th Hour film, the world GDP is $18 trillion. Old data still stands today. Pollinators are $35 trillion. That's a free service. That's double the world's economy. Another benefit is the leaves and the roots. For instance, the fire after the fires of Santa Barbara, roots are the cohesion of the soil, so they will maintain a stability versus the mudslide seen in Montesino. Another is the air we breathe. Plants release oxygen, they take in carbon dioxide. Win-win once again. So with that said, I'd like to go over my 3 points. I would like to finish up with the diversity, the importance, and the benefits to humans. So back to David Attenborough's quote regarding the natural world, curiosity and fulfillment. I just want you to remember this. You are a pollinator. Thank you.